I usually forget that part, most important part. So, first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us here on this beautiful Wednesday morning. On behalf of the entire Clark team, I'd like to welcome you to the 2022-23 Strategic Partnership Program Orientation Day. So, again, welcome. My name is Javed Budarabi. I am going to be your director, your MC, your driver for the next 8 months. So I'm ready to join this journey with all of you. So I've had the chance to speak with each of you one-on-one over the course of the last couple of months as we continued through our enrollment period. And here we are now kicking things off. So all of you have been in a position where ultimately you have been selected to participate in this program to help build your business and grow capacity. So we're excited to start this journey with you. We're excited about the prospects of helping you connect with industry folks, with industry members, and be able to help to grow your business and build capacity in this marketplace. So hopefully everybody can see the screen here. I purposely put this photo in our opening slide because this was our last graduation class before we went 100% virtual. So this was pre-COVID. And actually one of our guest speakers here today, Melvin, you were in this photo too. You were in this part of this group. So we'll hear from Melvin here shortly. But I'm excited to say that this is going to be the first class in 9 years now that is going to have the ability to benefit from both the virtual and the in-person components. So we're starting, obviously, given the environment, we're taking precautions to make sure that we're conducting our class safely, making sure we're mindful of obviously keeping everybody healthy and safe, but at the same time, getting the benefit of some of the in-person interaction, face-to-face interaction, which is really fundamentally part of our business. Construction is definitely not a virtual business. Construction is a face-to-face, hands-on business. So we want to take advantage of that where we can. So that being said, you're gonna see in your semester guide all of the classes that are going to be in person versus the ones that are virtual, and we'll get more to that later. Here's my contact information. I think everybody who is on this call already has it, but again, if you don't have it, there's my email, best way to reach me. I think everybody's got my contact info, and you'll see that obviously week to week from everything that we send out. Today's agenda. So we've got a packed agenda here. For our opening address, we'll have a couple of my colleagues and friends in the industry who will share some remarks, share some experiences that they've had through the program, and talk about the importance of why you are where you are. And then we're going to jump into our keynote. And the keynote is going to be the bulk of the presentation today. The keynote is going to be important because this sets the tone for everything that you're going to experience here over the next 8 months. And then we'll conclude with getting prepped for week 1 for next week's class. So give you a little bit of stats here. The SPP, for those of you that are not familiar with it, SPP started in our corporate office in Washington, D.C., and you're going to hear from both of our founders here in a moment. We've now spread across the country to all of our markets. We've spread to West Coast, East Coast, soon to be launching in our new office in Nashville. We're excited about that. Here in Chicago, this is now season 9, so you are part of an elite network of SPP alumni and graduates who have come through, over 1,300 of them across the country. And you see the numbers, they speak for themselves. And again, this goes to the goal and the purpose of helping to build capacity in our marketplace. So hopefully you'll realize that, you'll realize that experience here over the next several months. Over the course of class, you are going to see a number of different acronyms. You're going to hear a lot of terms, and there's going to be a lot of things to take away. This is not a 1 week, 2 week experience where you remember it and then you just set it off to the side. These are things that hopefully you take away for your career in a lifetime. And I like to start with these 3 letters, COG, okay? And what COG stands for is capacity, opportunity, and growth. And it's important to know that these are the three pillars that the program is based on. It's building capacity, which we've talked about. It's helping you to identify the best opportunities to pursue work. Not every opportunity, but the best opportunities to pursue. How to actually win, how to be successful at those opportunities, and then how to execute on those opportunities. So whether you're a large business, small business, fundamentally, this is the strategy that this is the approach that we take. And so you're going to learn a lot of this approach here over the course of the semester on how to manage through those opportunities. And then lastly, and probably the most important, is growth. And when it comes to growth, not just your professional growth, but personal growth as well. And many of you are leaders in your company, your principals of your business. And the goal is for you to take away the information that you learn from this program and apply that throughout your day-to-day business and help share that with your colleagues, with your team members. And in fact, you'll hear from Melvin, many companies that we've had that have graduated have gone on to bring on multiple people within their organization to help learn the content, which is a great way for companies to continue to grow, especially with their team members. So COG, keep that in mind. We're going to cover this quite a bit throughout the semester. And one of the other things that is going to be important here is capacity, opportunity, growth. 5 key principles, okay? There's 5 key principles that we want to make sure that you understand throughout the course of this semester. And Wes, our co-founder, you will hear it from him. You're going to hear this every single week, the 5 principles that our program is based on. Number 1, capabilities. What is the capability of your company? What is the skill set? What are the qualifications that you bring in order to perform on a project? Number 2, terms. What are the terms and conditions? Understanding the terms and conditions of a contract. Every opportunity will have some sort of an agreement, some sort of contract, and it's making sure that you understand what those terms and conditions are. We're going to spend a lot of time over the semester making sure that you are familiar with and understand what those terms and conditions are. Schedule. What's the time frame that I need to build this project in? What's the time frame in order for me to perform? Scope. Everybody understands what the scope of work is. What is it that you are asked to perform on? What's that capability and that skill set that you are going to take and apply to the project? And when you look at all of this as a whole, it's price. So every bid, every opportunity is going to have some combination of these 5 elements. And these are the 5 key principles that every single class throughout the semester is going to be based on. And some of it's going to be really focused on capabilities. Some of it's going to be very focused on scope, estimating and purchasing. Some of it's going to have a focus on how to perform best in a schedule. But everything is going to have some element of these 5 key principles. And as you continue through the semester, we're going to make sure that you always take these away, including into your RFP, your capstone, end of season capstone RFP assignments. And you're going to take this away for the rest of your careers. These 5 key elements. I can't stress how important it is, and we're going to make sure that everybody knows it by the end of the class. So, with that being said, I'm going to start to turn it over to my colleague speakers, okay? And I'd like to invite our Vice President of Operations, Chris Ferris, to join me and talk a little bit about some more opening remarks and an overview of the importance of the program. So, Chris, if you're on, go ahead and unmute and take it away.
Thanks, Javid, and welcome to all of this year's SPP participants. As Javid stated, my name's Chris Ferris. I'm Vice President of Operations for Clark Chicago in our northern region. So my primary focus is running our work and running our projects. And I've been with Clark. Javid and I have been with Clark about as long as you can possibly be, 20 something years now. And as he stated, this is the 9th year of our SPP program. and we are as excited as ever to have you all participating. As a general contractor, and particularly a general contractor in Chicago, and the way we operate, we rely 100% on our subcontractor partners. Particularly, we don't self-perform any work. We don't have our own concrete division. We don't have our own drywall or carpentry division. So we rely heavily in being successful, not only in securing new work, but in performing the work we have on our subcontractor partners. So from the perspective of our core business and what it is that Clark Construction does, which is build buildings and construct for our clients in the built environment, this is an invaluable program. We are investing in you, and we are investing in the industry that we all live in and that we all work in, to increase the capacity. And Javed talks about capacity, and yes, you need to look at your own capacity, and the idea here is to grow your individual business capacity. But we're looking at growing the capacity of the entire marketplace and bringing all of you up and into that capacity that not just for Clark, but for the entire industry, to make the Chicago construction and engineering and consulting services market the greatest in the world. If you were going to come out of this program, and I know Java just gave you the five basic principles, but if you were to come out of this program, the one that I really want to hope that all of you would focus on is what values are going to make you a strong and sustainable business. And one of the things that I hope comes across from the instructors here is how to operate a business and how to operate in this industry in a way that everyone succeeds, that you succeed, that the owners that we all work for succeed, that the contractors that you work with and for succeed. And we're all here to make money, and we're all here to grow our businesses. So we're trying to develop capable capacity and with knowledge and strong values. And I think that you're going to get a look under the hood. Every week, we're going to dive into some detailed aspect of the front end, the operations of projects. And I think that to the extent that you know or feel like you're an expert in one of those aspects, I would challenge you to still make sure that you're picking up the nuances of the things that other people do, and the way other people, either the instructors or the other SPP participants, ask questions or engage. Because from someone who's spent virtually my entire career at Clark Construction, I'm always trying to hear how other folks are doing things. Sometimes we get some blinders on. So I think to the extent that you can take this program and even improve your strengths, it's going to be a great success for all. And I think the most important thing is that you're going to get a lot of introductions to many people at Clark Construction, as well as folks outside of the industry. And this is an opportunity for you to expand your network, the people you know, and create a new business acquisition network base for yourselves to show off your talents and what your companies are capable and able to do. And I mean, I just want to close with saying I'm really excited for all of you to be here. I'm excited to see you on this journey at SPP, and really excited at the end of the day to work with each and every one of you on a project. Job would put my contact information up here, so if anyone wants to reach out, feel free. Now or later, but welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Chris and I started pretty much at the same time, like you said, and so for 20 plus years in this industry, we've seen every shape and size of contractors. And like he said, I mean, ultimately, we're only as strong as the companies that work with us. So ultimately, at the end of the day, for us to be successful, we need to help you be successful. So words of wisdom to live by. Now to pass it on to Mr. Juan Pablo Prieto. JP is the Director of Diversity Programs at CTA. I think many of you have had a chance to interact with and work with JP on some of the CTA's initiatives. We've been a partner with them both on the project side and then also from the small business initiative side over the last several years. So definitely proud to have JP here, longtime supporter of the program, and frankly, many of you who are looking to do business with CTA or look to get certified through their DBE program, you've been able to kind of get the best of both worlds with their small business education initiatives as well as SPP. So, JP, I don't want to steal any more of your thunder. A few remarks from you, please. Take it away.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. As Javed said, my name is Juan Pablo Prieto, and I am the Director of Diversity Programs at the CTA. I do want to start off by thanking Javed and Clark Construction for inviting me to speak as they launch their 9th season of SPP here in Chicago. More importantly, I would like to thank them for their commitment to strengthening the small business community in the Chicagoland area by hosting such an important program. CTA is committed to the success of our small businesses and disadvantaged business enterprise or DBE firms. We congratulate all of you for taking the time and energy to apply for SPP and encourage you to stay committed to the program. And make sure you're an active participant. You get as much out of SPP as you put into it. The reason I'm encouraging you to stay the course is because there's a lot of work coming in this region, and I want you to be in the best position possible to compete for that. Competing for the work, much like CTA's DBE and small business goals, is the floor. What I really want to see is the DBEs and SBEs that compete and win opportunities on projects with CTA, other public agencies, and private contracts, is to use those opportunities for growth. We want to see you all use contracts to scale up and compete for more, and for some of you, move into that prime contracting space. Just want to give you a sense of what we're planning at CTA in terms of projects. So first, we have our Blue Line Congress Branch Phase 1 improvements. These improvements include renewing the track along the Eisenhower Expressway, as well as renovating the Racine Station and adding a new substation. We have our All Stations Accessibility Program, or ASAP, which will ensure that all of our stations are vertically accessible by 2040. We'll be meeting this goal by adding elevators to stations that don't have them as part of a station renovation. And last but certainly not least, in fact, I'm sure this is a project that most of you may have heard about, the Red Line extension, which will extend the Red Line from 95th to 130th and add a new yard and shop at 120th Street. All of these programs are in various stages of design and procurement, and CTA will host outreach events to connect DBEs to interested prime contractors, so make sure you stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn to see when we post flyers for our upcoming events. And I would like to remind the class that CTA only accepts the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise or certification. We do not accept MBE or WBE, so please make sure to check your certifications to ensure that you qualify as a DBE. Before I wrap up, I do want to remind you that Diversity Programs is your #1 advocate within CTA, and we're here to serve. My email is on the screen. Please feel free to reach out, and I can connect you with the various units within my department that can help. And we're happy to schedule a meeting to talk about opportunities here at CTA. Again, I want to congratulate all of you for making this investment in your businesses, and thank Javed and Clark for putting together this great program.
Thank you, JP. Longtime partner, supporter of the program here, and it's great to have you again. A lot of work, as JP said, that's coming through the CTA pipeline. Definitely want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to take advantage of those opportunities, and there'll certainly be times where we'll encourage you to attend different types of outreach and webinar sessions, and both live and virtual. So we'll talk more in some of our early classes about how to identify opportunities, not just with CTA, but with throughout other public agencies, and strategies to pursue private work as well, both public and private. So stay tuned for that. Now I'd like to hand it off to Mr. Jay Rowell. Jay is the Executive Director of Hire 360. We've been, I think, since the days that you started out of your backpack, Jay, we've been acquainted and partnered. And so now many of you are familiar with Hire 360's presence in our market here and the support and resource that they are for both small businesses and from a workforce standpoint. So Jay, I'd like you just to say a few remarks here today about, from the small business standpoint, how Hire 360 can be a resource to everybody, and take it away.
Well, thank you, Javed. And first off, I love that headshot. Man, I have so much less gray hair in that one. I got to keep using that one. So good morning. It's nice to see so many familiar faces on the call. And really a big thank you to Javed for having me. We have a great partnership with Clark. Every year we've recommended, for the last few years, have recommended some diverse contractors we are scaling up to join this prestigious program. All have reported just having a great experience and learning a lot of really practical skills to help with their business. And we also enjoy working with Clark on projects like the CTA 63rd Street Rail Maintenance Facility, where we're doing some community outreach, and we just placed our first worker on the project the other day. So it's really been a great partnership with Clark. Speaking of the CTA, it's always great to be here with JP. We're forever in the CTA's debt. For when we launched in January of 2020, the CTA was the first to give us a shot in sourcing candidates for the Red Purple Line Modernization Project, and it's really been a great partnership ever since. As JP already mentioned, the CTA really has a great bunch of programs to give contractors like you opportunities to learn and grow. Strongly urge you to take advantage of that as well. In case you don't know, Hire 360, we're a unique non-for-profit partnership of some of the largest developers, general contractors, and trade unions in the Chicagoland area to focus on diversifying the industry. We have 4 pillars to what we're working on. We work with work-ready adults, getting diverse candidates into the building trades, and then connecting them to work opportunities. So happy to do that for your firms as you grow and expand. We have a youth program where we expose young people to construction so they see it as a career choice for them. We're doing a lot now to diversify the supply chain. We just helped start the first Black-owned HVAC supplier in the Midwest through getting them $1 million loan to buy a warehouse and connecting them with different partners. And we're also scaling up about 120 diverse contractors. We have our own working capital pool where we work with banks that wouldn't otherwise provide a loan. To give loans to the contractors we're working with, a lot of back office supports, insurance, those important certifications that Javed mentioned, and so much more. And it's really very complementary to what Clark is doing and the program here. This program teaches you so much about the work, growing your business, and we can really, at Hire 360, help you with a lot of the nuts and bolts. So urge you to reach out to us. I'm happy to connect you with Deborah, who runs our contractor program. As I close here, I know this is a huge time commitment and a lot of work for you guys to participate in this program, but I guarantee it will help you immensely in growing your business, and you will get much more out of it than you put in. And it's really already a testament to what you've done with your business that you were selected for this competitive program. And so urge you to follow through every step of the way on this awesome program, and look forward to doing anything we can to help you grow your business in the days, weeks, and years to come. So appreciate it. Javed, thanks for having us.
Thanks again, Jay. We've been lucky to have Hire 360 here in this market to help both from a subcontractor standpoint and workforce standpoint. But like Jay said, and like JP said, like Chris said, I'll say it, you have to put in the commitment, the time, the dedication. So, these opportunities, not just Clark's SPP program, but all these opportunities that are here in this market, and we have a very, very strong market, you have to take advantage of those opportunities, and you have to remain dedicated and committed. It's a reality that every job that you pursue, you're not going to win. You're going to lose more projects than you're going to win. I'm going to say that again. You're going to lose more projects than you win. But that's the reality of our industry. And so if we chase 10 projects a year, 20 projects a year, however many projects we chase, it's making sure that we invest that time and effort to pursue those best opportunities and identify those best opportunities. And then ultimately, those that we win, well worth the effort. And then it's time to perform. So we're going to help you identify those best opportunities, but you have to remain committed. You have to remain also persistent and not get discouraged when after you graduate, you're pursuing work, you don't win the first, you don't win the second, it's coming. So, and hopefully most of you are familiar with that life cycle of our business, and we're going to help refine that here going forward. So, thanks, Jay. Speaking of commitment, this next gentleman is somebody who I've had the pleasure of working with over the last 3-4 years. Mr. Melvin Henley, president of Pack Leaders. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let you tell the story, Melvin. But he is one of our recent alumni from the class of 2018-19, and what he's going to share with you is a direct testament to dedication, commitment, and making sure that you stay the course and what can happen in the future for you. So Melvin, take it away.
How you all doing? As Javed mentioned, there's a lot of people on here. I know Jay, Higher 360, JP, but through my course or journey, I would say, of building Pack Leaders up, it started very shaky. I was a superintendent for a company, a large company, and I got laid off, right, which is construction. But it just so happened that when I did get laid off, the very next day, a friend of mine, close friend of mine, Ulysses Ruff, mentioned this course to me. And I was working nights as a night shift superintendent. So had I still been working, I would have missed this opportunity. But that following day, I got laid off on a Tuesday. That following day was a Wednesday, obviously. Thursday was orientation. And he told me to call Javed. So this was my first introduction to Javed. He accepted me. I got the last seat in the class of the 2018 season. And he asked me to tell my story. And, had I still been working, it's kind of a gift and a curse. Had I still been working, I would have been making money. But I was working for another company because I was kind of scared to go full-fledged on by myself. I started the business in 2017. So, we're a year in, and I'm still working at my business part-time and working full-time for a company. Well, the impetus that I got from this course helped me in 2019 to go full-time in my business and commit. And I've seen a lot of exponential growth with the help of a lot of people on this panel. We have a $250,000 line of credit due to Higher 360's assistance. So what they're saying is true. That's with Wintrust. JP, we have our CTA DBE through that process, and he's assisted us when we were having delays in the system. We have had, I finished the 2018-2019 season. I started mentoring, Pack Leader started mentoring one of my fellow alumni from DePaul in 2020. And once he graduated, he's now working for Clark on the West Coast. Following up with that, 2020 to 2021, our VP of Operations, Netta Wilson, she graduated, and their class actually won, or their team won capstone, which you all will get into closer to the end of this season. Then we followed up with our superintendent and who is now our project engineer in the 21 to 22 season. From that relationship, we have what you call proof of concept, because now our project engineer is part of a construction management partnership that we have with Clark. in the West Loop. So 160 North Elizabeth, we have Pack Leaders has a project engineer that's actually doing construction management through strategic partnership program. And now we come to this season, we have 3 individuals plus our trusted subcontractors that I, feel like are dynamic enough to be a part of this. I'll tell you, it is a commitment. It's 6 months. It's 3 hours every Wednesday. It might be virtual. It
Eight
might be
months.
hybrid. How many?
8 months, Melvin.
I apologize. That's right. That's correct. So
Everybody.
it's a long time. I'll say that. Obviously, I forgot that it's been a while for me, but it's definitely a commitment. But you gain a lot of knowledge from this. You gain a lot of resources from this. I was able to take this knowledge and apply it directly to Pack Leaders and grow my business. And I'm always in programs. I've done Sunshine Enterprises. I'm in a program with Trinidad right now. I'm gonna start a program with FH Passion. I'm always in programs, but it doesn't matter if I'm the only one that gets all the information. So once you get this information, I would implore you to let your team get that same information and continue the process, because you don't want to be the only smart one in the room. And if you're the smartest person, even though you own the business, you want to go to the point where you can employ people that are smarter than you, and actually get a chance to see your business grow. So I did get a lot of that from this program, even the CTA, as JP mentioned. Take the CTA diversity classes as well, so to show you how to be able to work with CTA, because they're all working in tandem, all these entities, and these relationships carry. So you all will do well, but I appreciate being able to speak about my story.
Thanks, Melvin. It's amazing how much Pack Leaders has grown, and I would love to see that trajectory obviously continue with you, but with all the firms here as well, and continue for everybody to grow their business and be in a position to take that next step. And speaking of, I'd like to introduce my last guest here, Ms. Deborah Davis. And Ms. Davis was part of our more recent class of 21, so two graduating classes ago. But she was our first during COVID, and you got the full 100% virtual taste of SPP, and but it didn't deter you, and your team, I think, was also part of one of the capstone winning teams. So congrats again to you. Ms. Davis, can you just share a couple of minutes, just remarks from your experience and testimony?
Good morning, everyone. Do you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Javed, for the opportunity. I am an advisor. I am not a direct person working within construction, though construction is and real estate is my passion all of my life. And I've always looked at so many different areas of it, and having the opportunity to be a part of the Clark construction program was very eye-opening for me. My experience has been primarily as finance director, operations management, compliance, and all those things. So I had the experience of being part of that foundation that makes sure the bids get out or projects get funded, the compliance happens so that payment happens on a regular basis, and all the closings occur, all those different things. And I find that when we don't have an understanding of different roles and why people ask you for information and why they're on you about having documentation, because you're so involved in the trenches that you think it's really it's like a fly you can't see that keeps buzzing around your head. And I found I've studied real estate in my latter years. I have done a number of different programs, and I found that what Clark provides in this experience over this time, yes, it's long. Yes, it can be tedious. Yes, you may not want to hear some of the presentations, but what it brings to you and what it brought for me is that it brings it all together. And even though someone may ask, you may not want to hear or different things that people are bringing to you because it has no relevance to what you need to do. And when you understand the full scope of things, you will be really surprised how much more functional you're able to be in your business in construction. For me, understanding that you may need to take time to have somebody go out and count what is out in your supplies actually has a direct bearing on how much money the general contractor will be able to get on their next draw, because they are able to substantiate what has or hasn't been used. Something as simple as that. But you're more concerned about getting something done or someone else showing up. When you have a better understanding, even though you're not doing it, it will make a difference in you taking those next steps and pushing even harder. And then there are carryover things. Sometimes you might not want to attend a session that night because you don't feel it has relevance. Knowledge is transferable. Experiences and capabilities are transferable. And in this program, you get so much from so many different people that come across that you really wouldn't know until that experience comes up and you lean on what you were exposed to, that you'll understand exactly how valuable spending that time. So it is really worth making the effort, making the sacrifices. I mean, in our team, I was part of the winning team, and many of them did not want to do some of the things that we needed to do as a team as we were working on our project. But in the end, I had to be that person that had to fight and argue about, come on, we got to get this done. We got to do this. We got to do that. And I know that people were doing their own, they had their own companies. They had their own deadlines. But at the end, when we met afterwards, a number of them said, hey, I really appreciate you pushing us as a team, bringing us together. Even those that wanted to kind of falter off, we were able to pull them back in. Even if you make mistakes and things like that, when you're working as a team, it makes a difference. And I believe that's what this experience brought for me and for many others that have gone through. So regardless of everything else going on, I find that Clark Construction and the people that they bring in front of you are really here for you, to give you what you need during those times. And then you can also reach back to them. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity. I constantly tell people about this program. I'm hoping you guys bring me on as a spokesperson at some point. But I can't say enough about the importance of what you get in this program, because at each class, there's going to be something that's going to help impact you and your business going forward. So thank you for the opportunity, and I hope some of that helps someone to really push through.
Deborah, thank you very much. Thanks for your kind words. Obviously, you were your commitment and Melvin's, two examples of individuals who are committed to the program. committed to the end, and obviously it shows with the results. So, and I think there's even a few of you who have been referred through both Ms. Davis and Melvin for this year's program. So hear it directly from them, and hopefully you'll be when everybody here, your alumni going forward, you'll get that opportunity to give back as well. So looking forward to that. On to our keynote. Now we're getting into the main dish. So this gentleman needs no introduction, Mr. Wes Stith. He is our founding father, as we like to say, in the Clark world. I can't speak enough to how much Wes has influenced and has really changed the culture here. I'm proud to say internally for Clark Construction over the decades that he's been involved with the business, and put the strategic partnership program on the map, helped to make this a national, not just a DC initiative, but a national initiative. And Wes continues to work with all of our regions across the country to make sure that every small business that we interact with can take advantage of this opportunity to make their businesses grow and to be successful. So, Wes, proud to have you here again. Great that you're going to be a part of the program here and in our other upcoming regions. And you guys are all going to be blessed to see Wes again in the middle of our program during our purchasing classes. Wes is our lead instructor for our purchasing sessions as well. So, but please welcome Wes. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much, Javed, and welcome all the new participants in the program. You know, first of all, before I talk about the program and talk a little bit about myself and introduce the keynote speaker, I want to share with you that Javed is our national leader that actually is overseeing the programs on a national level. So if you would, let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand of applause, because he's done a great job, not just with Chicago, but he's doing a great job around the country. And I'm proud of him. He's always been committed to developing the size, scope, and scale of small businesses, especially in his region. So I want to kind of give you a little history of how SPP really developed. About 16 years ago, in Washington, D.C., we had a project that had one of the largest goals ever established, were mandated on a project at the National Ballpark. It had a 50% goal. It had a 50% goal, and the project was over close to $350 million. So 50% of that work had to be purchased from certified companies that were certified in the District of Columbia. This has no participation goal had ever been seen like this before. And wow, we were just scratching our heads because we were wondering how we were going to do this. So what we did, we caucused together and thought about, where do we go from here? So we started doing our research, and we looked in the database, whether it's just like you guys have certifications on different projects like DBE and so forth. This job had what they call a CBE, Certified Business Enterprise. So we looked in the database and tried to find firms that were certified as CBE. Well, when we actually did this capacity study, we found out, wow, we really didn't have the capacity to fulfill the need of that project to meet the goals. We had plenty of certified companies, but they did not perform a commercial useful function after the research. So what we ended up doing, we said, look, we'll do this research, we'll go through it, and then what we did, we got back together in caucus, and we said, the best thing we can do is to help develop the size, scope, and scale of these firms. And that's what we did, and we create mentor-protege relationships with large prime subcontractors on the job. We next to meeting the goal, we exceeded the goal of 50%. And I'm telling you, that was the beginning of the Strategic Partnership Program. And since then, we have graduated over 1,500 firms across the country. We have awarded over $1 billion plus to these firms. And we're now located in 9 cities. This 9th city is in Nashville, which Javed is leading the pack on getting that off the ground. I think it starts in next month, right, Javed?
Correct.
So,
yes, that's right.
So with that said, I just wanted to kind of share that story with you. And then the other key thing that helped me with my passion about this, helping companies develop their size, scope, and scale, was my father. My father was a contractor. My father never had any support when he was coming up in his business on how to run a successful business, how to understand the key components of those 5 key components that you guys need to live with. They should be planted in your heart. You know, every day when you're talking about your business, what is your capability? 1. 2, do you understand the terms and conditions of contracts? 3, what is your core business? What do you really do? Be able to present what you really do and not what your certification says you do. You want to be able to perform the commercial useful function of your trade. 4, understand the schedule. What can get me in trouble with that schedule? What can keep me out of schedule? And next would be how to price your work. That's going to go on every time we have this class. You're going to talk about these 5 key components because that's what it's made. So with that said, I thank you for the opportunity. But one thing you need to do is take the vow of commitment, that you are committed. And so what I'd like for you to guys do is to repeat after me. So if I can hear you, unmic yourself. And I just want to say, I. Can I hear you?
I.
State your name.
Christopher Coleman.
Roscoe.
That I am committed.
I am committed.
I am committed.
And I will fulfill.
I am committed.
And I will fulfill
the requirements for this program.
the requirements
that are set forth for this program.
Thank you and welcome. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So if you guys will re-mic your phone, I'm about to introduce a man that wow. I mean, every time I hear him present, every time I know his value, what he brings to you all, I mean, you guys are going to be touched. It's going to be almost like you guys were in some kind of charismatic church, you know, with this man, because he gives you the word, trust me. So the gentleman's name is Dr. Lynn Greenhouse. He doesn't like to get all caught up in his title, but I mean, this guy is a doctor who has taught at the Tuck School since 1978. He is the director of programs for minority and women-owned businesses, as well as director of Native American business programs. He teaches an MBA elective course in managing strategic business relationships. His research interests include changing workforce demographics, supply chain management, negotiation, top management team effectiveness, and managing strategic alliances. He's the author of a phenomenal book that you guys should get. It's titled Minority Business Success. He has so many accolades. He has so much I could say about him, but I met this man almost 20 years ago, and he has been committed to this program, actually performing this orientation for over the past 16 years. And I'll have to welcome him. Guys, really focus, really take it in. This is kind of like information that you're going to see is going to be revolutionary for your company. So with that said, Lynn, I'd like to introduce Dr. Leonard Greenhouse. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Wes. And welcome everybody to the 2022 Clark program. You have Javed, you have Wes, and you have the entire Clark team that is committed to your success. So now it's up to you. Okay, now I've got a lot to cover. I only have till 1 o'clock. for you to get a feeling for what does it mean to manage a growing business where you're growing in size, scope, and scale. How do you do that as the lead executive in your own company? So as we do this, we're going to get into a lot of stuff. It's going to go fast. If you've got questions or comments or you need elaboration, I have virtual office hours. And I talked to the people in Bethesda and Baltimore last week, and I had several sets of meetings after the fact, one-on-one with people who want to say, how does this apply to me? So that's available to you too. You have tons of expertise in the Chicago area. Javid will help a lot. Wes's team will help a lot. So you're in this. We care about your success. That's what it's all about. How do you run the business? What I do today is get you to think about not how do you just do the tasks involved in the construction industry, but how do you manage the company and allow it to grow and be what it's capable of becoming? So that's what we're going to do. I want to give you you've been on the computer for the better part of an hour now. Go get a cup of coffee. Go to the bathroom if you need to. I'm going to start right at 9 o'clock your time, which is like 3 minutes. So do this quickly, okay? So I'll see you back here in 3 minutes, and we're going to hit the ground running. Okay? Thanks.